Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome to my channel. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about characteristics of a good partner. Now, without further ado, here's number one. They share a strong emotional connection with you, and they're able to feel vulnerable without fear. You guys, comment down below if you know someone, a guy who, he's just emotionless and you're not able to, understand him when it comes to emotions. Like, with me, I know a few people, but this one particular guy, I would always call him a robot. And he wouldn't express emotions, or like, I would tell him that I love him and he wouldn't tell me that. Now, way before like we really started dealing with each other, he would tell me that it takes a lot for him to tell someone that he loves them. And I thought he was just lying. I'm like, that's a lie. But like, I was so used to people, when I say people, guys, I was so used to guys, telling me that within like the first month, and I've always heard older people sit there and say like, oh, you're not even supposed to say I love you and all of that until 6 months. And I was just like, 6 months is a long time. But when you really think about it, you realize like, well, if it takes a lot for a person to say that they love me, then, that means they're not running around telling other people that, the first night or first week or month. And it does make you feel good inside, but you're dealing with a person who, and skip the whole thing with, I love you and stuff like that. That was an example. And I was going somewhere with that, but I tend to keep forgetting things, so whatever with that. But just, you deal with a person who, doesn't express their emotions, and you find yourself asking them like, what's wrong, or how are you feeling? And you come to the conclusion that the person is just closed off. And I just want to put a disclaimer out there, you guys, that there are some men out there that just weren't raised to show affection. They're always told like, even if you cry, like, if you cry, I'll give you something to cry about. And it's sad, honestly. It's sad because a lot of the guys I dealt with, they also told me like, not even with family or whatever, but that they would deal with girlfriends who would put them down if they show emotion or they cry, and it makes them come off as a sissy, and that's not okay. It made me realize, okay, that's why, this person isn't expressing their emotions, or this is why they don't feel comfortable. Is because there's women out there putting them down for that, and that's not okay. That's not okay. And it ruins it for people like me, who actually loves when a guy can express himself. Because as females, we do it easily. Like, there's no issues with that, but with men, a lot of them are afraid to show emotion, and they don't want to be vulnerable. Like, in their eyes, if they show emotion, they're vulnerable, which, I mean, they kind of are, but it's just really healthy if, you're dealing with someone who's able to be vulnerable with you and express their emotions and tell you how they feel, or what's going on, or what made them upset, without them having to fear that you're gonna judge them. So if you have a guy like that, that's able to express himself and stuff, I'd say that's good for you. Like, that's wonderful. And if you're dealing with a guy that's not, try to work with him, go to therapy, or encourage him to go to therapy if he doesn't want you coming along. But try to get him to open up, and just realize some men won't ever open up. That's just who they are. And some men they'll either open up easily because now they know that you're not going to judge them. And then the other type of men, it's going to take a really, really, really long time for them to even express their emotions and stuff. But if they're able to express their emotions and open up, that is a good characteristic. So, number 2, they show physical affection. And no, I'm not talking about sexual things or anything like that. But if you have a guy who's not afraid, or I don't know why I said afraid, but if you have a guy who's able to, you know, hug you and, you know, kiss you on the forehead or anything like that without, you know, without feeling uncomfortable, I'd say, you know, you have a good guy, and, you know, that's a good characteristic in a partner. You want someone who's able to, you know, show physical affection there's just some guys out there that are, you know, uncomfortable with hugging, with, you know, even giving you a kiss on the forehead. And before I forget, I also want to mention this, but there are some guys who, low key, they're not feeling you. They're not feeling you, and that's why they don't want to show physical affection, or they feel like it's too early. Like with me, even though I'm not a guy, I was in a situation where, you know, I didn't hold a guy's hand, I didn't do certain things, but it was on the first date, and it was just really uncomfortable, and I thought that was just way too soon. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I've held a guy's hand before, when it was like our first date and stuff. Like, it can happen. But with this particular guy, before I get off topic, but with this particular guy, he was just really awkward. And we were in the movie theaters, and long story short, he grabbed my hand, and my hand's really small, and he put his hand up against mine, and he was just like, oh my gosh, like, your hand is so small. And he was working his way up into holding my hand, but he's being very, very weird and awkward. And it's like, dude, if you want to hold my hand, just let me know. Like, and that put me off. But anyway, there's just all sorts of things. But don't let a guy tell you that he's not the type to hug or kiss or anything like that. Like, if you're not in an official relationship, that's perfectly fine. But if he's supposed to be with you, there's something wrong. Like, either there's something wrong as in he's just not used to that, and you need to figure out what's going on. You guys need to talk amongst each other. Or 2, he just, sorry to tell you, sis, he's not feeling you. Like, he does show physical affection, but he doesn't want to show physical affection with you. Why? Because you're not the girl he wants. He's not really into you. He might be having you on the side, or just basically using you to pass by time. Like, he's just not feeling you like that. He's not into you. Never let a guy tell you he just doesn't do that kind of stuff without a good explanation. 3, they respect you and they don't put you down. So, let me not say that. I was about to say something. You just want someone who, you know, respects you. Because, first of all, who wouldn't want to be with a man who respects them, right? So you want to be with someone that respects you, and doesn't put you down. And I'd say that's a good characteristic, you know, to look for in a partner, because you just want to feel positive in the relationship. You don't want to feel down about yourself. If you have a boyfriend who's putting you down, he's being disrespectful, he's calling you out of your name, anything in that sort, that's literally the opposite of what you want. You want someone who respects you and they don't put you down. It's just a plus. Like, if that happens, where you're with some man and he doesn't respect you and he puts you down, at that point you're in a toxic relationship, and there's no other way around it. You're in a toxic relationship, and it's not good. It's not you shouldn't be in a relationship like that. You shouldn't be with anyone that's the opposite. So you want to make sure that the guy that you're with is, you know, he respects you, and, you know, he brings you up. He says positive things to make your day or just to make you happy in general. 4, they communicate openly. Communication is key in relationships. I'm sure we all can agree. Like, I don't think there's anyone in the world almost who would sit there and say like, oh, communication isn't key. You don't need to communicate with your partner. What? You want someone who's able to communicate with you and let you know what's going on. You don't want someone who just disappears all day or even a week, especially a week. That's when you know something's up, or even 3 days. But you want someone who communicates. If they're going through something and they want time alone, that's fine. You don't have to be up under them, but they need to let you know that they're going through something, and that's why they're not talking to you. That's why they don't want to talk to anyone. That's why they don't want to deal with anyone. Just as long as they communicate and you know what's going on, then everything's fine. But you can't be, you know, over there guessing and trying to figure out what's going on with your man, and he's a grown man and he's not letting you know, you know, he's not letting you know what's going on. What's going on is in his head. You can't read people's minds, even if you think you really know a person, which, don't get me wrong, there are some people that are just so connected. They know what the other person's gonna do. They know when that person is just down. They know things, but let's be real here. You don't know what they're thinking in their head. That's something they have to openly tell you. They have to be willing to communicate. You both need to be sitting down with one another and just having discussions on anything, even if it's like, well, I don't like that you did this. I don't like that you do this. I don't like this about you. I don't like that about you. Communication is key. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say on that. 5, they give you undivided attention and spend time with you. This one's my favorite. Well, they all are. You're gonna hear this a lot, you guys. Like, that's why I wrote them down, because they're all technically my favorite. But some of them like really hit me more than others. But you want someone who you can spend undivided time with. I'm not saying that you need to take up their whole schedule. They need to be up under you all the time. They don't have space for themselves. They don't get to, you know, have a break or anything like that. But you do want attention from them. Who wants a partner, male or female, who ignores them, doesn't care what's going on? It's not fun, especially if you're supposed to be in a relationship and you want to spend time with them, right? And they're not spending time with you. They're not making time out of their day. Like, that's sad. And it makes you think, well, I don't know about you guys, but with me, like, it puts in my head, like, dang, am I really in a relationship with this person or not? Like, this person doesn't come around often, on top of not even communicating. Like, if you have both, a combination, like, that's bad. But it's like, okay, I'm not getting attention from them, not even through text. This person's not even spending time with me, like, face to face. It's gonna make me like really frustrated and stuff. So you wanna make sure you have a partner who's able to do that. Like, it doesn't matter how long exactly, just as long as they take the time to spend time with you, they, you know, make room for you on their schedule, all sorts of things like that. That's a major plus. That's a good characteristic in a partner that you want to look for. 6, they practice forgiveness. You want to make sure that you're with someone who, if you get into it, you're arguing or just things go down south, and you guys are just on really bad terms, that at the end of the day, you guys can both come together and you both can, you know, forgive one another. You want a man that can, you know, apologize. You want to also make sure that you're able to apologize, because it's not always on the man, but a man that is able to apologize and he's able to, you know, forgive you. You want to be in a relationship where if things go south, you both can put the past behind you and work towards the future, because that's really important. Without that, then you're just going to continue fighting, and you're just going to continue to bring up things that happened in the past. And things can just get really rotten after that. Like, I'm telling you, it's not fun. But that's all I have for this video, you guys. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up, share with your friends, and I'll see you guys in the next video.